Hey guys, Nathaniel here from SuperGameCrashers and welcome back to our classic Tekkit series. So in the last episode, which was episode 8 I do believe, and this will be episode 9, we looked at how to process oil into fuel. And here it is, we've processed all of our oil into fuel. Never mind about that one, that's just an empty case. There's a little bit left at the bottom, so it's sort of glitching out. And yeah, so now we've got all this fuel. In this episode we're going to be looking at one of the most expensive items in Buildcraft and in the entire mod pack, a quarry, where we can automate our digging. Yay! So no more going into caves and getting murdered by creepers and zombies and skeletons, which has happened a fair few times. Now the quarry itself is by far one of the most expensive items you can get. Obviously you need 2 diamond gears, which is a total of 8 diamonds, and then of course a diamond pickaxe, which is 3 diamonds, 2 gold gears, and in order to make the diamond gears you need more gold gears. So there's all in all there is a lot of resources, but it practically pays for itself. So without further ado, let's make it. Where's my crafting bench? It's over here. Okay, so the quarry, much like all Buildcraft items, requires power, but it needs a little bit more power than most. There we are, 1 quarry. It needs a specific type of power. It needs this kind of power, fuel-based power. Ordinary engines are simply not enough, and as you can see down there, you can probably see our little setup. I've put a bed down there simply because before, even with the interdiction torches, I found that the area was being attacked constantly by creepers. So let's go into this. This is the only other thing that we'll be using. Probably won't use it in this episode, but it's called a landmark. And what it is it's a redstone torch with a bit of lapis on the top. And there we go. So a landmark, if you set them out correctly, basically they connect 2 points together. And if I connect this one, there we are, I have made a landmark. Now if I put my quarry down next to one of these torches, the quarry will only mine the area indicated by the landmark. It's quite useful if you want to obviously make big areas to mine, but for now we're simply going to use the default for the marker. And obviously if it's active, it can be a little bit difficult to remove. Just break the ground below it and it will remove itself. Okay, so let's go down to our area and start using our quarry. I'm very, very excited. I've set up this little system so that we've got plenty of water. We definitely do not want to run out of water. Now the quarry has a default size that it will go to. There it is. This is the default size. Now I have to take this interdiction torch out. If you build a quarry and you build it underground, the quarry will actually remove the area around itself so that it can be built. Now we've just got to provide it with some power, and in order to do that, of course, we need to fill it with some fuel. So let's fill the engines up with some fuel. And by the way, fuel lasts, I think, 6 times longer than oil does. So it's always better to process your oil rather than leave it in its raw form. And I think we've got enough here to demonstrate the quarry in its complete and utter effectiveness. I've got to turn this off before they explode. So we've got a nice system going, plenty of water. And yeah, let's turn them on. There we are, it's already starting to build. Before it gets too far, I've actually made a bit of a mistake. I have blocked the output for the quarry by putting these pipes down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the pipes a little bit to the side. The quarry doesn't actually require any specific way you put the power in, but the reason I'm doing that is so that I can put one of these down, like this, and then give me some stone transport pipes. And I got it wrong in the last episode, and I apologise, but the wooden pipes and stone transport pipes are part of Buildcraft. They're not actually part of Industrial Craft. I thought that they were connected simply because they look, you basically use them in pretty much every Industrial Craft part of the mod pack, but I got it wrong. It is in fact just part of Buildcraft. And the reason I've done this is because with the amount of power that's going into this machine, it will start producing items really quickly, and these chests will quickly fill up. A singular chest will anyway. So let's go. Okay, so there we go. It's building itself really quickly, and now the little head will go down, the diamond head, and it'll immediately start mining up our yummy items. So there they go. Obviously, the more power you give the quarry, the faster it will go. These engines are obviously not running at peak efficiency yet, so the quarry isn't going very fast. Eventually, the quarry will pick up to its maximum level of the power it can have, and the engines will continually provide power, and this quarry will go really fast. It's the reason why I picked 4 engines to begin with. So, as you can see, it's mining out the area. At the moment we've just got nothing but sand, and what it's doing is it's splitting the inventories up. Later on, when we do our big project, and our first big project, which is a giant sorting room / processing room, we'll be using pneumatic pipes. We won't be really using these unless of course we're transporting them across great distances or using liquid, because the pneumatic pipes cannot transport liquids unless they're in a canister. So yeah, this is a quarry, and this is it, running. Fan-dabby-dozy, brilliant stuff. The only thing that I would say about the quarry is it can leave rather ugly areas in your world. A good way to get around this is to basically use water. If I put water here, what it'll do is it'll start to fill in the area around the quarry, and this can be very useful because as your quarry fills up more and more, you'll eventually end up with a very large hole which goes all the way down, and you'll have no way of getting down the hole without killing yourself. So by putting water into the quarry, you actually save yourself a job afterwards, and it also slightly fills the hole as well, so you don't have to worry too much. It doesn't stop the quarry, however, and the quarry will continue even if it comes up against water. The only thing that will stop this little head from moving is if it comes across something it can't mine, which would be bedrock, and the other thing is of course lava. If it comes across lava, the machine will just stop, pull itself out of the ground and shut itself off. It's a little bit of a pain because you really just want the machine to constantly run, but it can't if it comes across lava, and then you have to just sort of reset it. I think this is fixed in future versions of Tekkit, but because this is effectively the original, it doesn't have it fixed in this version. Okay, let's just fill this up all the way to the top. There we go. Okay, and I'm drowning. Okay. Oops. Let's get out of this pool and sleep before the monsters spawn and absolutely wreck us. Right. And that's it really, guys. That is the quarry in all of its majesty. As you can see, we're just mining up loads and loads and loads of sand and sandstone, which is useful for some things, like making glass, but not useful in other things because it takes up a lot of inventory space. But thankfully, Equivalent Exchange can help us in that problem by giving us items which can compress all of the kind of useless blocks into more useful stuff. So sandstone and cobblestone and all that will be compressed into more useful stuff, and obviously our engines are now running more efficiently. And the reason why I'm speaking quite softly is because I'm recording this quite late at night and my neighbours don't take kindly to me yelling down the microphone. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it quite softly. And that was my headphones again deciding they want to turn themselves off instead of staying on. There we go. I should have actually added the water before the machine carried on too far, but I didn't, which was a bit of a poo-poo mistake. But hopefully, yeah, that should do. That'll be fine. Now we can obviously get to things underneath. Now, the reason I want to show you guys the landmarks is because later, when we start building our big factory and I show you the quarry, you may notice that the quarry is massive in comparison to this little baby one. And you guys are probably wondering how I've done it. I've done it with landmarks. You can also set landmarks to control the height of the quarry. So if you wanted the quarry to start at a specific height, you can actually do that. So if I found, I don't know, like a randomly generated building or something, I could dig up the entire building using landmarks by setting the height. It's just useful information. Okay, so I think by the next episode we'll start on our bigger projects. I have to say, guys, that I am really excited to be getting on with some big projects. Well, I suppose it's useful to give you guys the information on how to set most of the basic stuff up. But I'm kind of excited to get going on building big projects, not having to explain absolutely everything, because it can slow me down somewhat, and when I'm doing big builds, I like to do them being fairly quiet, just me on my own building big things. It's cool. So the first thing that we'll be building in the next episode will be our big sorting room, which will be a combination of Buildcraft, Red Power, Industrial Craft, and Equivalent Exchange, which just so happens to be all the mods that we've covered. And then once that's built, we should end up with more than enough resources to do our big projects. And then we'll dive a little bit further into Red Power, we'll dive a lot further into energy production for Industrial Craft, we'll dive into the cool special kind of tools that you can get with Equivalent Exchange, which allow us to effectively do what the quarry does, but on a bigger scale. And we'll be able to go into Buildcraft type stuff. So yeah, it's something to look forward to, guys. So hopefully in the next episode we'll be getting started on that. And that's really it, guys. This sort of tutorial phase is over, I guess. I hope you've enjoyed everything that I've done on this bit so far, and I hope to see you in the next episode where we'll be doing the bigger and better stuff of building our giant warehouse. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and this is Nathaniel signing off from the Game Crashers, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.